The following is a presentation of the Retro Network.
Well, welcome everybody to TRN TV, also known as the Retro Network YouTube channel, for our first ever Thrift Store Horde video. And I'll introduce everybody here. We've got Adam with us. Hey, Adam.
Hey.
We've got Kevin.
Hey, coming from the construction site.
Yeah, coming from the corner of the bedroom here.
I have no space in here right now at all.
This is also my half a green screen. You can save it. Anyway, we all love to go to thrift stores. We all love collecting. We are what some might call hoarders for certain things. So that was kind of where the term hoard came from.
Some court are our wives. Yeah, our wives. I call us hoarders. Yeah,
I'm glad she closed the door right now.
So basically what we wanted to do is have a regular video call and show off our thrift store finds. I know Kevin and I have both done like thrift store haul videos on our channels. Adam, I know you probably showcase some stuff at some point online, that all your VHS finds and everything else. But it's no fun showing them off to a camera. I mean, it's always more fun when you got everybody here and we can react. So that was kind of the origin of trying to do something like this at least once a month, because I'm going to the store a lot. I know you guys get to the store when you can as well. And we all have different experiences, different stores in our area. So this first video was basically just to get to know everybody, what we collect, where we go to shop, what we're hunting for, what would maybe a holy grail item be that we find at a thrift store. So Kevin, let's start with you. Where's your hunting happening locally there?
All right, so it has changed a lot lately. I had an amazing store. I called it the junk store. And it was just this old couple that I guess the guy, much like us, went around to every yard sale, estate sale, everything, bought it all up and just dumped it in the store. They didn't even know what they had. So you'd come in, how much is this? I don't know. It kind of depended on his mood for the day. Unfortunately, they retired. And it hurt. Oh my God, it hurt so bad. So then there is a converted barn about 20 minutes away that they converted into an antique mall. So every couple feet in the barn is a different booth.
Nice.
One guy took over a whole quarter of the second floor, and it's nothing but books, records, comics, magazines, everything. And you don't have, because I don't know how you, in your guys' area, a lot of the antique malls around here, you have to be willing to work a certain amount of time in the antique mall to kind of like provide for your space. This one, no, just show up, dump your stuff, write it up, see you later. Yeah, they don't, because the other one nearby, you have to guarantee them that you'll hang out like 5 to 10 hours a week minimum to work for them, in addition to them getting a cut of your, booth too. This one's just drop off your stuff. So he travels around finding all sorts of cool stuff. That is my favorite spot around here. But then I try like this Salvation Army for stuff. Thrifty Shopper. I don't know if you guys have seen that one in your area at all, or if it's just up here. You can donate, or they just have like, I think they're a place that buys up bulk pallets too. So they get a ton of stuff. I actually had like, rumor is they're getting comics. We'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see if they do. And then the yard sales, of course. And last year, COVID, the yard sale season sucked. There was nothing good out there. So this year, I'm fingers crossed. Find a few good ones.
Okay, Adam. Where are you looking? I know you just moved, so have you explored?
That's kind of how it goes, right? It's like you move to a new area, and like on my birthday, that was my wife's. She's like, your celebration, I'm taking care of the kids for the day. I'm taking off work. You just go to every thrift store you can find. So I just drove around the entire city, and stopped at every single one, and so yes, I mean, like we got a couple of Goodwill kind of fluctuates in all the areas I've been in. They're kind of like, so some of them have different preferences of what they will put out, what they won't, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I always try to find the places that are literally, just people that just gather up, like Kevin said, whatever they can find, they put it out, and then you get, so like there was one store in particular that it's basically an old historic building, like, so it's like from the 30s or something, and it like you go up and it's just got all these different rooms, like it used to be a boarding house or something, I don't know. So like every room is just filled to the rafters with different stuff, and so you can just dig around and find what you need. And so that was probably my favorite one to locate. But otherwise, like the thing I like, and I don't know, this might be a secret for some, but like obviously I'm always looking for VHS tapes. That's my big thing. But when I get in there, a lot of times I'm going to pay with a card, and they're used to dealing in cash more, I've found. So if you got like under their minimum, they'll just be like, you know what, pay me next time. I've gotten that a lot. When I just put my stack of VHS,
nice.
You pay me next time. I'm like, okay, I will be back. So, and I have, and whenever I pay them, they're always like, oh wow, okay, thank you.
VHS tab. You have a tab. Holy cow.
So that's what I love. And there's a few like consignment stores and stuff like that too in the area that have some really nice like video game sections and things like that, where they really seem to get a lot of old systems in and old cartridges, which is fun too. So,
nice.
And what have you found, Jason? What's in your area?
Well, we have a grand total of, I think, 3 Goodwills that we will hit. There are some, and like you said, they're priced differently. Different ones will, sell stuff for a little bit more than one of the other ones will, and it's kind of a hit or miss thing. There's one that we've hit or we go to a lot that I have particular sections that I look for. It's mostly the same junk every time, but every once in a while something will pop up. You're like, wow. And get it pretty cheap. We have let's see, one local antique mall that's 3 floors, that's got an upstairs and a basement that are the individual booths. And then we will go to a couple different towns north of us, about a 10-mile drive, something like that, there's at least 3 or 4 more antique malls. And then several other thrift stores, just like you said, mom and pop. They're doing. I think some of them do the storage auctions, and they'll get stuff. And I don't know about the pallets. We have a Black Friday store. Have y'all ever seen those?
No.
Oh, do you have one, Kevin?
No, never heard of this.
It's pallets of stuff that they'll get from Amazon or wherever and just throw out. And you show up on Friday and it's $7. You come back Monday, it's $3.50. You come back Tuesday, it's $2. They lower the price throughout the week. They're closed on Thursday.
Model. Okay,
yeah,
got it.
They close Thursday, and then you come back Friday and they put out all new stuff. Anyway, we have one of those stores, and just a couple local mom and pop stores I like to hit. So, luckily, my wife, I don't know. I think I got her into it maybe a couple years ago. Just I'm finding stuff. I'm so excited, and now she wants to go more than I do. So that's
nice.
Thank you, Lord. But
can you write instructions? Can you write instructions for how you pull that off?
I'll write a book. We'll see how that works out. But so we're going there. So now let's just talk a little bit about what we are looking for. Kevin, I know you have long boxes of comics somewhere in that that construction, that black background there.
Yeah, it's been loads of fun. Actually, I got all it's short boxes because I'm too old at this point to carry around long boxes. So I switched over to short boxes almost entirely. I have 2 long boxes still. And they're tipped up on their side right now because they're not full. I do have, I don't know if either of you remember this. And I know we've done the Christmas catalogs, the Sears and JCPenney catalogs. but I still have, this just happened to be right next to me. When you ordered 100 Marvel comics through the catalog, it came in this Marvel box.
Wow, neat.
Oh, wow.
Still have it, and I still have the Spider-Man one as well. The disgusting thing is when you look online and see how much these are going for, I'm not getting rid of it. This is mine, but I've been tempted. But yeah, I'm always looking for comics. I'm always looking for VHS now. I like seeing people with all the videotapes I wish I had when I was younger displayed on their walls. It just looks cool. It brings back so many memories. I have way too many DVDs, like most of us do. I've been getting into a lot of the like pulpy paperback stuff lately too. Grabbing some old Conan and just anything, you know, sword and sorcery, sci-fi, horror, whatever that I find. If either of you haven't read it yet, I highly suggest picking up Paperbacks from Hell. Amazing look at the genre paperbacks going back to the 60s. What was it popular at all times? Why it was popular? What it was saying about society at the time and what society was interested in, and why this subgenre blew up. So good. But the problem is it has about 300 to 400 pictures of different paperbacks in there that you are now going to want. So I have 2 boxes downstairs in storage right now that is nothing but paperbacks I have found since reading this book.
Awesome.
So that's the collection she doesn't know about.
Looks over his shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, she's aware of all the comics and all the toys and stuff, but the paperbacks are hidden right now.
Cool. All right, Adam. I know it's VHS mainly, right?
Yeah, I mean, so when I'm making the rounds, obviously first place I go, they have a VHS shelf. You know, you like you're talking about, you try to spot the new thing. So if you're going weekly or, you know, at least every other week or something, you know, you do your best. So I always go in, is there something new? Let me see what I can grab here, something I didn't want before. You know, I'll show something real quick while I'm here. Sometimes they work out in that. So the other day I got a copy of Valley Girl, okay, on VHS, and I was just like, wow, this is kind of crazy to find a copy of Valley Girl. That's not one that comes up very often. But the reason it was fun is previously I had picked up a cassette, okay, of the Valley Girl soundtrack. So now I have the set, you know, and they're not like super vintage, you know, these were like 90s releases, but they go together, you know, so it's kind of fun that way. So yeah, so I go there. A lot of times, you know, they have very big book sections, and I'm not like a huge collector of the books. I always look for comics. They seem rare. They seem hard to find everywhere I go, but I like to get movie novelizations, you know, so I love to like just dig through it every once in a while. Like I found The Last Boy Scout movie novelization the other day, just like random stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I don't take that with me. And then otherwise, what I always am trying to track down is old tech. So like lately, like, man, I've been, the riches have been flowing, you know. I found one store in particular that has like a specific section that is all like vintage alarm clocks and TVs and like CD players and like, you know, tape decks and all these things. Like now they know what they're worth. It's a thrift store, but they obviously are checking prices, so they will mark it up a little bit, but it's still just like awesome that they have preserved that and didn't just chuck it out. But one I'll show maybe towards the end of the video here that I just found at a Goodwill lately. I was just like, you don't come across these, and I just came across it, so I was very excited. So those are kind of my top 3, is like VHS, then maybe some movie novelizations, and then I'll maybe grab some old tech if I can.
Cool. Yeah, it's the mood that I'm in, what I'm looking for. And sometimes I'll see something right away that I'm like, okay, so I'm stuck on VHS or something. But of course, I'm the Casingle guy. So I will look through the cassettes for mainly Casingles, but sometimes there is an album maybe I don't have, and I'll do the same thing for vinyl. If it's something that I never had back in the day that I want to say, well, I remember a couple songs on here, the rest of the album is essentially new music to me. So it's either on cassette or vinyl. I'll pick those up. Thanks to Paxton Holly, I Read Movies podcast. I've looked for movie novelizations as well. This is the one I found most recently. It's the junior novelization of Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, neat.
Or the Young Readers edition. So you got a few pictures in the middle, you know, but I've got a few like that are kind of like the young readers, but I will look for. I got Jaws. I found a Jaws novelization with a Hills Price sticker on it, so that was like, so I will look for that. Just random games and toys and things. There's one thrift store that we go to that's only open from Saturday, like 8 till noon, something like that. And they have like the lowest prices I've ever seen. Like mugs are $0.25, and they'll throw board games in there for $1. I found a vintage Hotels board game, complete. Some of the little entrances weren't even poked out of their little plastic case that they came in. It goes for over $100. I got it for $1, and that was like almost like a holy grail moment to find it. The only thing bigger than that would be like Fireball Island, or something. So we've been getting into board games and things like that. 45 records that have the picture case or sleeve. Those are the ones that I like to get, and the booking records. Last 2 years I've been deep into the booking record sets. Trying to think if there's anything else. That's mainly it. At one point I was going more for just Batman. Give me Batman stuff. Let me find some old Batman things, and I got kind of past that. But yeah, I just like finding. This is old. This is 80s. I found a stuffed Gizmo plush toy. Plush figure. Just in a random area of just. I'm like, what is this doing here? I had to pick that up. So just things like that. I don't necessarily have. There's the records and the cassettes and things like that is a specific collection, but I don't know. I like to find the odds and ends too. All right. So Kevin, you got anything recently there? I kind of came into this without an agenda, but anything you want to show off recently?
I do, because this is unfortunately where my computer is right now during all of this mess. So when I come home, I have the stuff sitting right here so I can go through it. So it was already here next to me. It worked out. All right. So I am trying still. I have not been able to write anything during this because I don't have access to it, but I'm still trying to go through all the Alien stuff this year. And actually, I did a post on my own site recently that I won a contest. I won Blu-rays for all 4 movies. I watched it. Yep. Stuff. Yeah. So I'm still looking for more stuff though for it. So I found a Dark Horse Comics collection, Alien Book 2, that I was very excited for. Just to look cool. But what I was even more excited for to add to it was the Alien photo novel.
Whoa.
This thing is huge. And it's just, it looks beautiful too.
That's at 1,000 pictures?
1,000 full color photos from
it.
Oh my gosh. Based off of the screenplay and all.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
I was thrilled to find this. I'm like, even if I wasn't planning on doing this year, I would have grabbed this anyways.
Absolutely.
All right. So speaking of VHS, because I'm still doing mine, I found some exploitation Caged Heat. I couldn't believe. I was like, how did they not throw it out? Thinking it was porn.
Yeah.
They well be clean. Adam, I don't know if you've experienced it, but is there anything worse than finding a tape you've been looking for and there's mold?
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. I hate it so much, but this is just absolutely ridiculous. I had to grab it.
Now, at some points, you've been selling VHS. Did you get into the barn deal there? Have you been setting anything out of your collection?
No, I kind of, all right. So I kind of was debating on doing a booth at one point. And then we're going back and forth on it. Like, do we really want the hassle of it and taxes and everything like that? Now, with everything going on for the house, I kind of like, maybe I should extend my side hustles here. Because if anything happened, COVID hits again and, we're all sent home from work again or something like that, I kind of want something going. So I'm not quite sure what it is, but I have been debating that, just to kind of make use of all of this.
Okay.
But then the last thing I have sitting here is, it's not really worth it right now because of eBay, because of internet, but I used to love getting the brand new comic book price guide every year. I would always request it as a Christmas or birthday gift, depending on when it came out. And I mean, the next year there's a new one with updated prices. Wizards, as Adam, of course, very well knows, would be a monthly update for prices and what's hot and what's popular. But then I got looking back at my old ones and seeing there's a lot of articles in here too. There's a lot of just history of comics, interviews with creators, a lot of beautiful pictures of it. So I thought, you know what, I want to collect these. And it's stuff that people get rid of for $1, if that, because the prices aren't valid anymore. So I found the Overstreet Price Guide from 1976 with the spirit on the cover. It is the 6th one that they ever did.
Yeah.
And I think they just had like the 50th one. I'm pretty sure I picked up with the Spawn Spider-Man cover on it. So I mean, this is just 1976 overall, not that long ago. So I'm gonna let's say first Spider-Man, just for amusement. So Amazing Fantasy 15, first Spider-Man in here. A mint copy was $160.
What?
Wow.
That's no, granted, $160 was, more than it all still, but I mean, come on. Action Comics #1 was $4,200.
And 70 what?
76. Which that's a bare minimum $1 million comic right now.
Set time circuits to 1976. Time to go back.
Yeah. All these things online of, if you could go back and stop this, if you could go back and stop this. No, I'd go back and get a bunch of comics. Those prices, come on.
Yeah. Okay, Adam, what you got?
Okay, wow. Okay, so yeah, I've grabbed a couple things. Lately it's kind of I like I said, there's sometimes I'll grab an oddball thing. I do have like a record player and stuff like that. So if I find something on vinyl that is unique, I will pick it up, because usually it's old like country or folk music from the 50s and 60s. Like, it's so disappointing to flip through that, right? But when you get the soundtrack,
of course,
gatefolds, I mean, living on the background. So yes, obviously I have multiple copies. I got the VHS, I have multiple VHS, I have DVD, I have the Blu-ray, and all those things. It's one of those things I've listened to the soundtrack a million times. Playing this version while I was assembling furniture for my wife in her office, I've set up my record player and I'm listening to it. And this record, it plays at a slightly different speed than like the CD version or digital version. So it's kind of interesting to hear it in that sound. People always say vinyl sounds better. I don't know if vinyl sounds better in this case. But also I got, this was really unique. So what this is, these are some stock monkeys playing piano, but this is Floyd Kramer plays the monkeys. So what it is it is this guy playing the hits of the monkeys from the 60s, but just piano versions of it. And I would have thought of that back in the day, that somebody would have created that. And it's been really great because I'm a huge Monkees fan too. I don't talk about it much, but so to sort of hear those alternate versions, and how he decides to put it in. So that's big. One quick thing I'll show off is these are some Batman Pogs,
Nice.
that I found for 50 cents at a Goodwill. What's cool about this though is, if you could see here, it's actually in French. So I'm pretty sure this came from Canada. Like, this is like Pogs in Quebec, and and so everything is in French for the most part, with a little bit of English. And so I just imagine these,
Batman.
Yeah. So it's just kind of cool to have something that, in addition to being vintage, it's also from a different place. Now, here's the big one that I wanted to tell you about. So like I say, and certain places know what they got, and I have plenty of VCRs. Don't get me wrong. I got my VHS collection. I got to be able to play them. I got a lot of VCRs in the house, but I did not have one like this. Okay. So look at the size of this VCR here. Okay. I'm going to turn it on for you. I mean, the best part of all, it's a pop top, so
nice.
pops up there. It's beautiful. But so this is just, you know, a nice little RCA unit. And it actually doesn't play very well, but luckily I found a VCR repair shop that still exists in my area.
That blows my mind.
Yeah.
Blows my
So,
mind.
but this is like nice. It's easy to carry. You can put it anywhere you want, right? In comparison to something I recently got from an estate sale that my Wizards co-host Steven Sapellis picked up for me in Connecticut and shipped out. This was considered a portable VCR unit, and this thing is 17 pounds. The only thing that makes it portable is that it has a handle on it.
As a handle.
But otherwise, this thing is a monster. So just to compare to that little guy that I had here, and they look to be the same vintage and everything. So it was possible, you know, to do one that small, but they just didn't, you know. So, but I got that small one for like $7 at Goodwill, and that never pops up. You never see that. So I was very excited.
That's cool.
That's so cool looking. No,
yeah, I mean, the vintage tech, if I like my VCR went out before Christmas and I picked one up at that thrift store I was telling you about, open one day a week for $2. I was like, perfect. That's all I need. So I'm not, you know, I know you've seen the laser disc too recently.
Yes, so I that one's a little bigger. It's harder to grab, but it is a Selectavision video disc player, and I'm over the moon about it. I'm so excited. Like, we had one very briefly at our house. I don't know if my dad rented it or somebody let him borrow it, because we had it for like a few months and then it just disappeared. We never had it anymore. And so I find it now, and with a whole slew of discs. And I actually have somebody on Twitter who's like been sending me when he goes out to his like antique malls and different flea circus, flea markets. Might be a flea circus in there too. Yeah. But then he sends me, he's like, hey, check this out, they have this one. I was like, oh, okay. So it's nice.
Very cool. Well, I'll show off. I did get a warning there that we might cut out. We're at the 40-minute limit, so I might have to come back in. But anyway, real quickly, of course, the Casingles. The ones I've got recently were 3 a.m. Eternal by the KLF, and this is actually U2's The Fly from the Octoon Baby. I picked those up. One of the board games I really wanted to find at like a thrift store was Sequence. I remember playing that a lot as a kid, and I found the Sequence dice version, which is relatively new, but for $1, I was like, yeah, that was cool. Okay, so 45s. I'm forever indebted to Wendy Talley, who wrote her name on all of these. Duran Duran, A View to a Kill.
Awesome.
We've got I found a bunch of Duran Duran. Save a Prayer. Is There Something You Should Know? Also, the Arcadia Election Day single, 45. I love the picture. There's Bryan Adams, Cuts Like a Knife. ABC, Be Near Me, Cool in the Gang, Cherish. All of those were like I think $2. And it's funny, like on the Duran Duran ones, you'll see it says 88 cents here. I picked this up at the antique mall. Right down the plaza is another thrift store that will write their prices on here, like 80, and it's always like $1.88 or 88. So they found these, took them to their booth in the antique mall and marked it up $1. So they made $1 for finding them for me. Now these ones are going to Adam. I found some VHS tapes that were concerts.
Yeah.
So you've got Billy Ocean in London over here. You've got Rick Springfield over here, and then you also got Jefferson Starship. And speaking of the Monkees, there you go.
Yes.
The Monkees, and these are store copies.
Yeah.
So they're pretty well taken care of. So those are coming your way. Puzzles, I don't know. I do like to find puzzles, but I'm always finding the ones that have missing pieces. So I'm up in the air on getting puzzles. I had to get this one. It's Where's Waldo?
Jeez. That
is going to be hard to put together. And it's how many pieces? just 100 pieces, but you know, the classic beach scene. And then something kind of newer. Let's see. Trying to find a date on this. The Price is Right DVD game. I've yet to try that out yet, but The Price is Right is my favorite game show of all time. Probably a lot of people's favorite game show. And found that DVD version, so I picked that up. And then the novelization I showed you, Empire Strikes Back. So that's kind of a mix of what I get when I'm looking for stuff. I do have some more records I didn't bring in just for the sake of time, but one that I found was an old Disney presentation. It wasn't a booking record, but it was the open panel like you had for Xanadu, Adam. And the story, it had like maybe 2 pages on the inside, a big 33 LP.
Oh, okay.
So that was a very fun find. But anyway, don't know if we got much time left, but I think that's it, unless you guys had anything else you wanted to add.
The only thing I'll just say, I just have it sitting next to me. This was an oddball find, which is a lamp with vintage space graphics. I'm certain this is like a post Star Wars. Yeah. Like this,
weird.
This looks like it would be in Elliot's room in E.T.
Right, yeah.
I would have grabbed that right away. Why do you need a lamp? I need this lamp.
Yeah. I love lamp.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's all we got for now, that's just a little taste of what we can, bring to the table each month at least, maybe more, depending on how often we get to the thrift store and what we find. And we might, do individual videos if we want to on the channel. But this is what I really wanted to do, is to get the interaction, and hopefully people watching will enjoy it as well, leave comments, so forth, and look for more Thrift Store Horde videos in the future. So thank you guys for taking the time. I appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. Always ready to talk about old junk.
Yeah, anytime. No one at home wants to hear about it. So
yeah. And maybe at some point we'll kind of dig through our collections too, and I'll pull out all those old book and record sets, and we can, check out just a specific thing from our collections and do some stuff like that as well. But anyway, for now, we'll go ahead and end the video. Thanks for watching over here on TRN TV on YouTube. Please subscribe and ring the bell for notifications on when the next video hits the feed. But for Kevin and for Adam, this is Jason. Thanks for watching.